Vale, ahora sí. Listo, ahora sí estamos en directito. Vamos a ver si se escucha todo bien. Vamos a ver si se escucha todo bien. Perfecto. Vamos a ver si consigue que avise. Vale, pues vamos a empezar por esta segunda parte de Vampyr. A ver si creo que ya conseguí solucionar lo de Just Cause. De todas formas tengo que confirmar, pero creo que sí, que ya conseguí, que era un tema de drivers, pero tengo que confirmarlo igualmente. Voy a un segundito. Que ya voy. Un segundo. A ver, ¿qué quiere la que está ahí en la puerta?
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up! I'm not one to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry. There's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Bueno, y aquí no tengo nada que volver. ¿Y esto?
It's locked, all right.
La verdad que esto parece una morgue. Historia clínica. Quiero ver eso de la historia clínica, a ver. Toma, varón de 28 años, estado convaleciente, fecha de acta puede terminar, nota. La cara del paciente presenta quemaduras graves y está desfigurada a causa de una bomba durante la guerra. Aun cuando se le aplican los sedantes más fuertes, afirma que padece mucho dolor a causa de las heridas, como si las llamas siguiesen ardiendo bajo la piel. El reconocimiento de los tejidos cicatrizados no muestra signos de inflamación, infección o tumefacción. Las cicatrices están limpias. Podría tratarse de un caso de daño neurológico irreversible. El paciente se culpa a sí mismo de su desfiguración. Podría tratarse de un caso de culpa del superviviente, dolor fantasma que se manifieste como castigo por no morir junto a sus compañeros. Lo podría ser. De todas formas, de las notas que quedan, yo creo que las... Uy, aquí no. A ver. Artículos sobre los ecos. ¿Esto qué es? Vale, este ya lo había leído. Esta. Este ya lo había leído. Y este. Vale, sí. Y... ¡Ay! Que le di donde no era. Cachi. Y este. Ah, sí. Este es el de... Vale. Yo supongo que tendré que salir, ¿no? Y dar la vuelta. Convocatoria, cómo prevenir la gripe española, te vas a un pañuelo, voy a una de trabajo, no escupa, no comprar nada, no fabricar una mascarilla. Agüita, tenían que fabricarla. ¿Y esto? Tenía que... ¿Esta es?
It's locked.
No. A ver, se supone que si esa es la entrada, espérate, a lo mejor... No, por aquí no. O a lo mejor simplemente... A ver, que ya me perdí. Ya me perdí. Vale. ¿Este es tú? En un segundo me perdí. Esta es la entrada al hospital, ¿no? Entonces a lo mejor una puerta trasera, bien por este lado. Prevenir una enfermedad, escupir, estornudar o toser ayuda a propagar la gripe. Los fluidos nasales o guturales no tosan público. ¿Esto qué es? No, esto es para entrar. No, pero esta es la entrada. Pregúntame de grabar por la neumonía que es sobre el ¿Qué pasó? ¿Por aquí?
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Esto debe ser la morgue. No se abre. Esto tampoco. ¿Y esto qué es? Ay, yo digo, oye. Esta de sangre revitalizante líquida. Vale, esta debe ser... Si no, la morgue donde están los medicamentos. O eso parece, ¿no? Ah, pues no.
Yes, Doctor?
Es que ¿dónde
Please, could you
está?
point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Dice que lo veré enseguida. Que es el edificio justo que está detrás de la morgue, que está clausurado. Ya que estoy... Y me tengo que meter por aquí. Hay un callejón supuestamente. Vale. What? Fotografía en una cartera, una fotografía de una pareja sonriendo. Milton y Pipa por
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Vale, y resulta que la morgue está... ¿Aquí? Pues no estaba lejos ni nada. Buenas, Carlos. Vale, pues simplemente hay que buscar ingredientes. Aquí seguro que hay algo. Fresco de vidrio. No, fresco de vidrio. Bueno, fresco de vidrio me viene bien a mí. ¿Esto es un armario que no se puede abrir? Vamos a ir habitación por habitación para no perderme. Frasco de vidrio. Aquí no hay nada. Vamos a ir para acá. Periódicos. Esto me lleva para afuera. No hay nada aquí. Pues no. Así que si revisamos todo esto ya, pues... a saber qué hay por ahí. Ay, ¿y esto? ¿Está en el suelo? Eso está cerrado.
It's locked, all right.
Vamos a mirar primero aquí, a ver. Encuentra la llave del sótano de la morgue. Ya empezamos ya. Chelines. Por aquí no hay nada. ¿En serio que aquí no hay nada? Ah, bueno. Bueno, mira, primero voy a matarte a ti.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Ah, bueno, si aquí te pone hasta con señales donde está y todo. Pero bueno, yo igualmente quiero recoger para mí.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. It's locked. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Vale, pues... esto ya lo he mirado. Vamos a subir un piso más, aunque ya tengo la llave del... Aquí no me deja entrar. Pero aquí tampoco me deja entrar. Pues nada, tenemos que ir a la morgue. What? Ah, bueno.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Vale, esto parece ser un ascensor, no como un armario. Bueno, vamos a ver aquí. Debería estar por aquí, vamos. Ah, bueno. Bueno. Jolín, quería comerme la sangre. Comerme la sangre. Beberme la sangre. Pero no me han dejado. Ah, mira, con esto se absorbe sangre.
It's locked.
Creo que la otra estaba... vale, por aquí vine. Ah, bueno, pero esto es inmenso.
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Vale. Hipoclorito. ¿Cuál es el? Entonces... Este es el que sería que me pediría. Es que me dice, elabora un tratamiento para el... Para el agotamiento. No me jodas que me falta hipoclorito. Me cago en todo. Ay, este no lo puedo deshacer. Ah, necesito, ahora necesito. ¡No! Tengo que matar gente. Necesito el coso ese ferroso. Ay, por favor, dame. Dame. Hipoclorito. Ay, me salvaste la vida. Hola, bye, Rubén. Menos mal. Vale, para el agotamiento. Voy a hacer otro para la anemia. La sepsis. Ah, ya no puedo hacer más. Pero tengo que matar más bichos de estos. Ya no me acuerdo por dónde vine. Lo bueno que tiene es que puedo... Que también hago así de curandero. Bueno, de médico. ¿Y por qué voy por aquí? ¿Y ahora? ¿Y para qué subo aquí? Es más, por aquí está Milton ese. Y le voy a devolver. Mírala acá. Hola, Milton.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all.
Eso.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Encima que le...
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Eso está claro.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired.
Ahí, lo volví a
Tired.
repetir.
Goodbye, Milton.
It is now or never.
A ver si este hombre tiene algo para
Good evening,
contarme.
Dr. Tipp.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Aquí no tiene nada.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
No, no tengo así nada especial para... A ver a ella.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Hombre, eso sí.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Y vamos, ya tiene un nada.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Mírala a ella, que controlada.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge,
bueno.
I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Sí, la verdad es que con el... como está la situación, yo qué sé.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
A ver qué nos cuenta la loca. La loca
Good evening,
vampira.
Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Mira, por ejemplo, allí hay dos que no conozco. No, hay varios aquí que no conozco.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off.
Joder.
But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Couldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Qué fuerte, ¿no?
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Ay,
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
bueno, nunca se sabe. Vale, hay una pista que perdí.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Está sano. Con esta ya hablé. A este ya lo conozco. Esta está aquí encerrada. Que ha de estar por el otro lado, imagino. Desconocida. Ah, pero está cerrada aquí dentro.
I cannot enter.
To disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Ah, mire. Investigaciones sobre ciudadanos.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with
Harvey Fiddick is a
What is it you...
Fair question.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes,
Está
and
interesante
fears.
la historia, ¿eh?
Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Vale. Pues
Goodbye,
nada.
Dr. Strickland.
A ver qué le pasa a este
Good
hombre.
evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
¿Y por qué no?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Creo que por aquí no queda más.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Uy, ¿qué hay aquí? Carta incompleta. Vamos a ver. Queridos hijos, siento no haberos escrito antes, pero tan solo trasladar estas palabras al maldito papel me produce un dolor insoportable. No os preocupéis, papá abandonará el hospital en cuanto los médicos le curen el brazo. Mientras tanto, si necesitáis cualquier cosa, id a ver al señor Chadwick a la obra y decirle que sois los hijos de Harvey Fiddick. ¿Os acordáis de Robert Chadwick? Ese hombre enorme con bigote que me ayudó a arreglar las puertas de casa la primavera pasada. Id a verlo y pedidle algunos chelines. No os pondrá ninguna pega. Siento no poder trabajar por el momento, pero ya me inventaré algo en cuanto salga de aquí. No os preocupéis, todo irá bien en cuanto papá recupere la fuerza en el brazo. En cuanto los médicos me curen el brazo, yo... Y ahí la dejo. Y no siguió escribiendo.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Yeah.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Las enfermeras enviaron la calidad de la sangre de un ciudadano. ¿Está quién,
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Bueno, perdón
Tell me
usted.
more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
No, obvio que no.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs.
Pero es que no es a usted a quien le quiere hacer. Es a él a quien le quiere hacer la revisión.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
A ver, agotamiento.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Bueno, primero que nada tengo que ir a hablar con... ¿Y este quién es?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr.
vale.
Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
De la que conoces, pero no de la que...
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Vamos, no sabe mucho, por no decir nada.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel... empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in
otro
blood
que necesita
transfusion,
de...
and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir.
de una
I believe all I
poción
need
de
is rest.
agotamiento.
And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. It's locked, all right.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Voy para arriba. Ay no, siempre me equivoco de piso, es este de aquí. No, a ver qué puerta es esta. Sí.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Vale, ese está ahí debajo. Aquí arriba no hay nadie que no haya conocido. O con quien no haya hablado, mejor dicho. Vamos a ver aquí. Aquí sí hay gente. Pero creo que están afuera. No sé si están para este lado o están para el otro. Están para este lado.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
Ah, bueno.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Qué simpático.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Ah, menos mal.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Con este, por ejemplo, no he hablado.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansey's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansey has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansey, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Ah, bueno.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure. but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
No lo parece.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Vale, aquí nada. Y aquí tampoco.
Have you heard about any blackmail going on in this hospital?
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are used to gaining people's trust with your impressive skills. Well, it will not be the case with me.
Ah, bueno.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
Me parece bien.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
Well.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
¿Y si le vuelvo a dar?
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
Ah, no puedo ofrecer
I'll see you
asistencia
later, Nurse
médica.
Crane.
A ver, a ver.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Have you heard talk of any blackmail here at the hospital?
No, nothing.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
¿Qué pasó?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Sí, en principio eso parece.
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Me pareció ver a alguien por aquí. Ah, que encuentro coseta. Ah, mira, pero si hay gente aquí, espérate.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Your attitude is irresponsible, Doctor. Believe me, I've seen so many medical errors caused by exhaustion during the war.
You're right. This is a war, Dr. Reed. And I don't intend to surrender.
Joder con él.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Ay, no, 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 no.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Pues nada. Cositas.
thought last summer's epidemic was different.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
A ti sí que te tengo yo que decir cosas. Ah, bueno.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Goodbye, Milton.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Más vale.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
Ah, pues mira, esta es la única que no conocía.
What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off, they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
The daily routine.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
The pain.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Have you heard rumors of underhand dealings in the hospital?
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything. Especially what she shouldn't.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Estás siempre con lo mismo, ¿eh? Bueno, pues
I'll
hasta
leave
luego.
you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
¿Estás seguro que es ella?
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
What can you tell me about...
Let me guess.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Su vida en Londres, nada.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
They know we are overwhelmed by this horrifying epidemic.
sé qué hace aquí.
It's a leech! Kill it!
Don't worry, we're safe.
¿Qué? ¿Dónde está Dorothy? ¿Qué está aquí abajo? ¿Por aquí puedo entrar? Ay, antes que nada, tengo que ponerme... Porque tengo un montón de cosas aquí que podría usar. Esto hace 45, 65... Mira, esto hace mucho más. Luego... Aquí... Ah, espérate. En la mano izquierda. Aquí me puedo poner... Vale, nada. Mano derecha. ¿Y por qué no me puedo equipar esta? Arma izquierda. Vale. ¿Y por qué no me deja equiparla? Ah, porque esta arma es un arma de 2 manos. ¿Y si quiero cambiar de arma? En el juego, controles. No, pero los controles de... Vale. Vale, en combate. Vale, para la Z. Vale, ahora sí. No, no se me cambia. A ver. Aquí ponía, ¿no? Cambiar arma cuerpo a cuerpo. Y cambiar arma de largo alcance. Para la C y la Z. Disparar. A ver, entonces... Que no sé, será entonces que no... Es que... Claro, es que entonces esta, como es de 2 manos, no me la puedo poner. Sesenta y cinco, 75. Vale, pues me pongo esta. Y entonces aquí me pongo esta. Y aquí me pongo 54. Y aquí me pongo esta. No, me la voy a... Ah, en la absorción de sangre. Espera. A ver. 160. Vale, me pongo esta. Y aquí la de absorción de sangre no me la puedo poner. Bueno, da igual, me pongo esta. Entonces a ver si ahora sí. Entonces... Claro, la Z no me la puedo cambiar porque solo tengo una. Ah, vale, ya entiendo. Pero bueno, entonces me voy a poner 2. Pero si me pongo esta, vale, ¿ves? Si me pongo la de 2 manos aquí, no. Y aquí me pongo esta, que es la que más daño hace. Listo. Entonces aquí sí me la puedo cambiar. Vale, listo. Lo que no sé es dónde carancho está. Entonces se ve que pasé por el lado de ella y no la vi. Porque sale como si... Es que sale como si estuviera aquí o por aquí. A ver. No. Vale, creo que está aquí abajo. Ya sé dónde está. Está aquí abajo, ¿no? Sí. Está donde subí yo la primera vez, en las alcantarillas. Escuchar a escondidas.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I ought to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Qué fuerte, era esta. Qué fuerte que era esta.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Esto se puede abrir desde
Can't
aquí.
breathe. I can't breathe.
Yo lo escuché para el otro lado, pero... Pero ya ni me acuerdo por dónde viene. Qué fuerte, no hay nada más, no.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
¿No vas a salir o qué? Pues no, quédate ahí. ¿Y este? Oh, bueno.
What sort of creature is this?
Ah, bueno.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check.
Cupón de la enfermera Crane. Si estás enfermo y no tienes dinero, seas quien sea, vengas de donde vengas, ven a ver a Dorotea para recibir ayuda. No es ningún engaño. Gratis, no hacemos preguntas. Busca la casa de Dario Petrescu y entrega este cupón.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Qué fuerte, ¿no? Qué fuerte. Ay, ratitas. Ratita. Las ratitas no son malas para la salud. Ahí está eso. A ver. La T. ¿Cómo hago? La tengo que subir. Listo. No puedo salir por aquí. Que es por donde entran las alcantarillas. Hola, Eric. Buenos días. ¿Y este? Gracias. Se cansa mega rápido, ¿eh? Sobre el reclutamiento de nuevos miembros en Whitechapel. Creo que he encontrado uno, Albi. Es más simple que el mecanismo de un botijo, pero es fuerte. Le pedí que me demostrase sus habilidades consiguiendo algunas sustancias del mercado negro. Realizó la entrega sin problema. La próxima vez que nos veamos le diré que está admitido en los Wheatwood Boys y que debe reunirse con los jefes para recibir órdenes. Voy a ponerme aquí. No, espérate, que solo tengo 2 huecos. Porque no me deja usar. Ah, bueno, qué cabrón este, ¿no? Más cositas por aquí. Ay, aquí está White Papel. Estado del distrito grave.
It's locked.
Espero que este no fuera el que hubiera que salvar, porque si no... Carta de petición. El señor Bates debe detenerse. Durante meses, incluso años, Cadogan Bates ha aprovechado a nosotros. El señor Bates debe detenerse. Si tuviésemos más dinero o trabajos decentes, nos alquilaríamos por un precio abusivo. No alquilaríamos por un precio abusivo ninguno de sus pisos. El señor Bates debe detenerse. Todos conocemos la repugnante solución que propone a las mujeres que no pueden pagar el alquiler semanal. El señor Bates debe detenerse. Reunámonos con él cuanto antes y exijamos un cambio inmediato. Agüita con el señor Bates. Lo estoy escuchando aquí debajo. Vale, para aquí no hay más, pues entonces tengo que bajar por aquí. Ahí entro, déjame coger ciertas cositas que veo por aquí. Con esto puedo fabricar un montón de cosas, ¿eh? Vamos a ver, ¿qué están haciendo este hombre? Ah, pero ya está ahí, tranquilita.
What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Bueno, te voy a cautivar. ¿Qué tal? ¿Vas a morir? Este lugar está muy mal.
Was I that evil to deserve such punishment? My only regret is that no one will mourn me, for I have never been loved.
A ver, yo lo salvé. Lo que pasa es que... Total, el distrito está hecho mierda. Ah, por aquí fue donde entré. Vale. Pues por aquí no hay ningún lado donde ir. ¿Por qué me trajeron aquí? No entiendo. No sé para qué me hicieron venir entonces a esta casa si mira dónde está. Caché en la mar. Eso sí, tengo un montón de puntos, así que por subir... Ay, ay... Ay, tíos, ahí no tengo balas. Qué pena que no me dejó morder. Por aquí no hay más. Solamente tengo balas de escopeta y tengo dos. Vale. A ver qué hay aquí. Tornillo. Vale. Y por aquí por donde voy. Esta está cerrada. No me quedará otra que ir por aquí, imagino. Tantas balas de escopeta. Y más balas. ¿Hay algo? No. polvo. Informe sobre el Pembroke de noviembre para el hospital, vigilancia, actividad vampírica. Señor, llevamos 2 semanas vigilando el hospital Pembroke y podemos confirmar la actividad vampírica. Ahora tenemos pruebas de la presencia de un chupasangre hembra dentro del hospital. La bestia es astuta, finge ser un paciente mental para ocultar su naturaleza impía. Me he colado en el hospital y he escuchado a la criatura quejarse de que necesitaba sangre, pero su cuerpo se estaba pudriendo. Pero lo que es aún peor, el director del hospital Pembroke es el doctor Swansea. Según la responsable de nuestro equipo, Amanda Tilton, que cayó ayer luchando contra un Skull cerca del canal, es posible que el miembro sea miembro de la hermandad de Saint Paul. Si eso es cierto, puede que el Pembroke oculte otros secretos. ¿Tendrán un nido de vampiros? Quizá esos traidores de la estola los estén protegiendo. No sabemos qué hacer, pero será mejor que venga cuanto antes con refuerzos y la artillería pesada. Y por aquí no había salida, ¿no? No. Entonces, ¿por dónde puedo yo seguir hasta allá? Vamos a ver. Vale, tengo que seguir todo recto y después a la izquierda. ¿Aquí? Sí. Todo recto. ¿Aquí a la izquierda o a la derecha? No, a la derecha. Y después creo que... Ah, vale, sigo para adelante. Ah, ok.
Christ, he's dead! No!
Tu país te necesita, sí, bueno, únete al... lo mismo. Por ahí hay bichos.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
Ahora tengo que ir. Ahora tengo que seguir para allá.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol. A leech! A leech! Leech is fast!
Hijo de puta este, ¿eh? Bueno, ¿cómo puede ser que sea tan duro? ¿Cómo sale? Vale, está por allá. ¿No? Yo no sé ni para dónde tenía que ir. Y supuestamente la famosita casa está aquí. Aquí ¿es esta de aquí? No, es esta.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the...
Vale, el escondite está aquí.
kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it! Me, I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Ya me quitó la agotamiento.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
I will see you later. Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Goodbye, young man.
Me, I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old life away.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor.
And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife. Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Oh, boy.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
I will see you later. Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
I'm not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's just a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Ah, bueno.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Ah, pensé que la pista me la habían
Goodbye,
dado
young
de...
man.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Someday you'll understand. You've wasted your life away.
Vale, es aquí. Este es el refugio, espero que me deje... Ah, sí, porque suele haber de esto, así que me dejará... Este es el refugio, ¿no? Sí. Me dejará... hacer cosas, menos mal. Una mesa de trabajo, esto debe ser para salir. Primero vamos a ir aquí. ¿Esto qué es? Autofagia. Tengo que subirla. Y esta también. Ah, no me deja subirla. No. Vale, esta. Vale, me da más energía. Esta también me da más energía. Y esta también me da más energía. Vale, luego esta. Voy a subir esta. A ver, ¿esta qué es? Puedo llevar 3 sueros. Vale, esta sí que puedo llevar más balas. Vale, me quedan 500. Este me mola. Me pide 1000, pues lo voy a guardar. Ah, tengo que confirmar, es verdad. Vale, listo. Migraña y anemia tengo. Aquí. Vale, para la anemia. Y para la migraña. Claro, tratamiento para la migraña, pero no lo he aprendido. A lo mejor lo aprendo. Los aprenderé aquí, a lo mejor. No. ¿Y cómo puedo fabricarlos entonces? Los sueros. No, pero es que los sueros son para mí. No, solo puedo curar la anemia. No me acuerdo ni por dónde entré. Aquí. No, esta es la subida por el otro lado entonces. Me está encantando este juego, pero es que encantando. A ver, vale, pues lo que tengo que ir es para allá. Después los ayudaré a ellos. Ah, voy a hablar con ella.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Good evening.
I'd like to see...
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
A ver si vuelvo a encontrar a esta gente. A ver, yo vine de aquí. Vale, si yo vine de aquí, pues deberían de estar por aquí, ¿no? No puede ser. Espérate que aquí hay más otra vez. A ver si no me pierdo. No. Ya no sé dónde está. No me acuerdo dónde están. Bueno, ya los buscaré después. Pero primero la misión principal, porque si no...
I cannot enter.
A ver, ay no, que tenía que ir por el otro lado. Por aquí fue donde yo encontré... Claro, mira lo atrás que me fui, pero mira, me sirvió.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling...
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
Vale, ahora tengo que seguir por aquí y todo. Para ti no tengo nada, así que...
has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the swan report.
Así que no te quejes.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
It's locked or... I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Vamos a ver qué nos dicen de...
Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap?
As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Eso iba a decir, me va a mandar a que le ayude a
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Right then. Show me what you have. Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
As you wish. May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson. Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
I've been touched by God's grace. I am perfectly healthy.
Pues sí, está sano.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say...
Also,
quite a...
But you...
Well, what do you mean?
The beast.
I have heard enough. Good evening.
It's fun.
Vale, pregunta.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Madre mía. Sí que está viendo la azotea,
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Ah, bueno, soy más machista.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Soon the time will come when
¿Y este es?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Mira, el que estaban...
The famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Pues sí, me tiene que...
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
O sea, que busca vender nada más.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
I will see you later. Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Así que se esconde uno por detrás de la iglesia.
Look lively! It's on to us! I order you!
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Cuarentena. Enfermedad contagiosa. No me puedo entrar en... Esa zona sin presentar permiso. Ah, sí. Lo mismo de siempre. Formas vale, aquí me voy a poner esta y aquí Pero no entiendo, había uno que era para... Ah, vale, nada. No ha dicho nada. Vale, no, espérate. Entonces lo que voy a hacer es ponerlo aquí. Y aquí pongo... esta. Hombre, ojalá aquí se pudiera poner un arma también, pero es que no se puede.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All right. I shan't insist. Goodbye for now, sir.
Vale. No, tengo que ir para el otro lado.
This one's mine!
¿Listo? Ah. Vale, pero por aquí no es, que es para allá. Lo que pasa es que aquí no veo entrada, o sea que tengo que dar toda la vuelta. Voy a ponerlo ahí, pero... Ay, el buzón tampoco lo vi. Encuentra a Richard, encuentra el buzón. Creo que es por aquí, ¿no? Sí. Es por aquí, después a la izquierda. O sea que el buzón está aquí. Mis queridos hijos, siento mucho no haberos escrito en los últimos meses. La situación en Londres es complicada. Soy consciente de que puede parecer egoísta y absurdo cuando vosotros, hijos míos, aún vivís en un país consumido por la guerra. Aquí en Inglaterra también estamos luchando una guerra contra la pobreza y contra la injusticia. A pesar de mi avanzada edad, intento estar al pie del cañón. Por eso os escribo hoy, no volveré a Rumanía, así que es probable que no nos volvamos a ver antes de que muera. No estéis tristes, hijos míos, ya sois mayores y ahora tenéis vuestros propios hijos. Ya conocéis los sacrificios que a veces debemos hacer para que este mundo sea un lugar mejor, y este es el sacrificio que yo debo hacer para volver a sentirme útil. Os deseo una larga y próspera vida. Dadles un beso a los pequeños de mi parte y recordad que vuestro padre os quiere. Siempre seré vuestro padre, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Vale. Y me falta encontrar a... que está por el otro lado, ¿no? Está justo... pero Dario... Pero eso es dentro de la iglesia. Por lo que veo. El periodista no es, ¿no? No, este es el periodista. Aquí no se abre. Gripe profunda llamada por una neumonía. Vale. Aquí tampoco se puede entrar. Vamos a seguir para allá. Encuentra a Richard. Mira ahí.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the Death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet, nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Tiene un resfriado.
My mother loved poetry. Perhaps your words would have touched her sensitive nature. I only see a dreadful disease.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Madre mía, que no sé. Vale.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Ah, por aquí no puedo salir, luego volver a donde estaba.
You are blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily routine.
Unable to see the right. You again.
No sé si había algo que podía... No.
Goodbye, Mr. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Oh, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed.
Pobrecito.
I'm afraid of.
Imagínate en esa situación. Cualquiera quiere vivir ahí. Vale, aquí no hay nada. Preguntas personales sobre Barrett Lewis y tu padre.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Qué fuerte, ¿no? Tampoco es... No sé. Tampoco es por verlo así, pero bueno.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
A ver.
I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick.
Yo creo que sí, sí, a ver, sí, sí sabe.
I should go out more.
Que tenía que salir más, dice. Lo que tiene agotamiento también.
Do you need any medical?
Yes, I do.
I will see.
A ver, no quiero negártelo, pero te lo daré en otro momento
Take
porque...
care of yourself.
Que aquí todo Kiki está enfermo.
Dreams are soaked with glue.
Aquí todo Kiki está enfermo. Y encima es que la medicación no es que sea muy económica, pero sí que me gustaría
It's locked.
intentar, yo qué sé, hacerle los medicamentos a todos. Carta de rechazo de empleo. Estimado señor Peterson, es mi deber informarle de la imposibilidad de aceptar su solicitud para un puesto de trabajo en el astillero. Le agradecemos, no obstante, el tiempo dedicado a explicarle la dificultad de su situación con su hijo enfermo y la desgraciada pérdida de su adorable esposa, pero también es mi deber informarle acerca de la política de nuestra compañía que explícitamente rechaza el empleo de antiguos criminales o convictos. Sus desafortunados vínculos con los infames Wet Boys han llegado hasta nuestros oídos. Vivimos tiempos difíciles, señor, y en Fitch and Harper siempre intentamos recompensar primero a los candidatos que superan la pequeña encuesta que planteamos a nuestros futuros empleados. Le compadezco profundamente y espero que Dios le acompañe a usted y a su familia. Saludos cordiales, R. de Harper. Pues... parece que no. Cazadores de vampiros. Si alguna vez sospecháis que alguien sea un vampiro, no tratéis de matarlo por vuestros propios medios. No tendréis la más mínima posibilidad. En su lugar, intentad poneros en contacto conmigo y formar a un cazador de vampiros profesional. Estos hombres y mujeres no son demasiado comunes, pero saben lo que hay que hacer contra estas diabólicas criaturas. Parece incluso que algunos de ellos colaboran bajo el nombre de la Guardia de Priwen, una organización paramilitar dedicada a la erradicación de los vampiros en Londres. Son vuestros amigos, no estáis solos, la solución está ahí. Sed inteligentes, difundir la palabra. Clarence Crossley. Para más información, contactar directamente conmigo. Pues mira por dónde. Esto está cerrado.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been...
You're late. Where's my money?
Let your guard down, sir.
Ya, bueno.
You again? What do you want this time?
¿Que dejes de molestar a la gente?
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now, and people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Pues hasta que te pase. Así que buena suerte.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Buena suerte, chaval.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Eso de procurar. Bueno, no, arrepentirse no se va a arrepentir, pero... Chelines... Pareciera que le estoy
If you
robando.
want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Ah, que tiene una imprenta.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane.
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, if you feel all right, that's fine. Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
A ver qué nos cuenta esto. A ver dónde está esta mujer. Carta a la enfermera Crane. Querida Dorothea, cuando leas esta carta yo estaré en el barco que nos llevará a Anton y a mí de vuelta a Brasov. Inglaterra no era para nosotros y reconozco que anhelo volver a ver las orgullosas colinas de Transilvania. Tan pronto como estemos allí te prometo que encenderé una vela en la iglesia negra y rezaré porque sobrevivas a esta terrible epidemia. Sé que no apruebas esta decisión y que consideras que serás mucho más útil aquí para nuestros camaradas exiliados en el East End. Pero Anton necesita regresar a nuestra amada patria para ver el tan ansiado brote de la revolución. Es mi esposo y debo permanecer junto a él. Sé que tuvimos nuestras peleas y discusiones, sé que te habría gustado tenerme a tu lado para ayudarte con tu clínica, pero ahora que me marcho de Inglaterra, ten por seguro que si te pasara algo, si te vieras inmersa en un grave problema o peligro, regresaría de inmediato a Londres con o sin Anton. Por favor, piensa en mí lo mismo que pensaré yo en ti. Afectuosamente, tu hermana Teodora. Bueno. Sí, ya tenemos prácticamente todo para desvelar a esta mujer. Eso lo tengo más que claro.
I need help.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Aspirin and salicin, you say? Why not some warm milk and a kiss on the cheek? Where are the quinine salts?
Tried buying, borrowing, even stealing. There's none to be found, Doctor.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
Murió.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Madre mía, las jeringas de metal.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Ignoraré lo que he visto, pero dimitirá.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Bueno, la hizo olvidar. Está bien, no la iba ni a matar, ni a sentenciar, ni nada por el estilo. Así que... está bien. Así que bueno, chicos, ya lo vamos a... bueno. Ya lo vamos a dejar por aquí. Espero que les haya gustado el capitulito de hoy, que ha sido súper largo, pero es que la verdad que estoy súper encantado con este juego. O sea, si fuera por mí, seguiría jugando y jugando y jugando y no pararía. Y eso, que la verdad es que me ha encantado. O sea, me encanta este juego. No pensé que me fuera a enganchar tanto. Y nada, lo dicho, que espero que os haya gustado. Nos vemos en la siguiente parte de este juego. Y bueno, que sepan que después haré otro directito. Así que nada, nos vemos en el siguiente directo. Y Y eso, y que ya sabéis que apoyad mucho el vídeo. Si es la primera vez que me veis, suscribiros al canal, activad la campanita para estar siempre pendiente de cuando hago directos o subo vídeos, aunque ahora más bien solamente estoy haciendo directos. Y lo dicho, nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo o directo. Un besito y chao chao.